Welcome. Tonight, let your body settle into the bed beneath you. Slow your breathing. We are about to walk quietly through 3,000 years of ancient Egypt, from the very first pharaohs along the Nile to the final breath of Cleopatra. You do not need to remember anything. You do not need to stay awake. Let the story carry you. Let the air drift slowly into your lungs, soft and unhurried, like the evening breeze moving across the Nile, and then release it gently, as if the river itself is carrying your worries downstream. Again, breathe in, slowly, feeling your chest rise like calm water under the moon, and breathe out, letting your shoulders sink deeper into the bed, loose, heavy, safe. Imagine now that it is night in ancient Egypt. The sky above you is dark indigo, scattered with quiet stars that have watched over the desert for thousands of years. You are resting beside the Nile. The water moves slowly, soft ripples brushing the shore, a steady rhythm, ancient, unchanging. Listen to the gentle sounds of the river. A distant wooden boat drifts across the water. Palm leaves whisper in the warm night air. Torches flicker along the riverbank, their light dancing softly on the surface of the Nile. With every breath in, feel the calm of this place. With every breath out, let your body grow heavier, more relaxed, more peaceful. There is nowhere to go, nothing to do, nothing to remember. You are safe here, under the same stars that guided pharaohs, travelers, and dreamers long ago. And as the Nile continues its quiet journey through the desert, your breathing becomes slow, steady, and effortless. Let the story carry you. Pre-Dynastic Egypt, the Nile, and the first kings. Long before pyramids rose above the desert, before temples of stone stood along the river, before golden masks and royal tombs filled the imagination of the world, there was only the Nile, a long ribbon of water, winding quietly through a vast and silent land. Tonight, imagine yourself resting beside that river. The air is warm and still. The sky above is deep indigo, filled with soft, steady stars. The Nile moves slowly in the darkness. Its surface reflects the moon like polished glass. Small ripples drift toward the shore, gentle and endless. This river is the heart of everything. Thousands of years ago, before history was written, before names were recorded, small groups of people began to gather along its banks. They came searching for water, for food, for safety, and the river welcomed them. At first, their shelters were simple. Light huts made from reeds and branches, walls shaped from mud and straw, roofs covered with bundles of dry grass. These homes stood close together, forming the earliest villages of Egypt. In the cool morning light, smoke rose from cooking fires. The smell of roasting grain drifted through the air. Children ran barefoot across the soft earth. Dogs barked quietly near the riverbank. Life was peaceful, steady, predictable. The people learned to watch the river closely. Every year, as the hot season deepened, something remarkable happened. Far to the south, in distant highlands and mountains, heavy rains began to fall. Those rains fed the Nile, slowly at first, then more quickly. The water level began to rise. The river swelled beyond its banks, spreading across the surrounding land. Fields disappeared beneath shallow water. Trees stood half submerged. The earth turned into a shining lake. But the people were not afraid. They understood the rhythm of the Nile. They knew the flood was a gift. When the waters finally receded, they left behind a layer of dark, fertile soil, soft, rich, and full of life. This black earth was perfect for growing food. Farmers walked into the fresh mud, pressing seeds gently into the ground. Barley, wheat, lentils, and vegetables. Under the warm sun, green shoots began to rise. Soon, fields stretched across the river valley like carpets of light. Harvest time became a season of celebration. Men cut tall stalks of grain with curved blades. Women gathered bundles into baskets. Children carried water from the river. The sound of laughter filled the air. After the harvest, the village rested. Families shared meals together. Stories were told beside evening fires. Music drifted softly through the night. And always, the Nile flowed quietly nearby. As generations passed, these small settlements began to grow. More families arrived. More homes were built. Paths formed between villages. The people learned new skills. They shaped clay into sturdy pots for storing grain. They wove baskets from reeds gathered along the river. They carved tools from stone, sharp and reliable. Soon the Nile became more than a source of water. It became a road. Long, narrow boats drifted along its surface. Some were made from bundled reeds. Others were carved from wood. These boats carried people, food, and ideas. Villages that once lived in isolation began to connect with one another. Trade slowly developed. One settlement might exchange fish for grain. Another might trade pottery for cloth. Shells from distant shores became necklaces and ornaments. The river linked them all together, like a thread sewing many small pieces into a single fabric. Over time, certain individuals became respected leaders. They were not kings yet. They were elders, organizers, problem solvers. People trusted them to make fair decisions, to guide the community during difficult times, to settle disagreements between neighbors. These leaders helped coordinate the work of the village. They decided when to plant crops, when to build storage houses, when to prepare for the annual flood. Their authority grew slowly, naturally, through experience and wisdom. And as villages expanded into larger communities, leadership became more structured. Groups of settlements joined together, shared farmland, shared water, shared protection. These alliances formed the earliest regions of Egypt. In the north, where the Nile spread into many branches before reaching the sea, the land was filled with marshes and wetlands. Tall reeds swayed in the wind. Birds gathered in great numbers. Fish swam through shallow water. This region would later be called Lower Egypt. In the south, the river ran through a narrow valley between rocky cliffs. The land there was drier, more rugged, and easier to defend. This became Upper Egypt. Though the names might sound confusing, they simply followed the direction of the river. Upper Egypt lay upstream. Lower Egypt lay downstream. For many years, the two lands developed separately. Each region created its own customs, its own symbols, its own leaders. The people of the north adopted the red crown, tall and curved like the plants of the marsh. The people of the south wore a white crown, smooth and rising high into the air. These crowns represented identity, pride, belonging. They showed where a person came from. Daily life continued with quiet rhythm. At sunrise, farmers walked into the fields. They guided simple wooden plows pulled by animals. They carried baskets filled with seeds. Along the riverbank, fishermen prepared their nets. They pushed small boats into the water, cast their lines into the current, and waited patiently. Sometimes they caught tilapia, sometimes catfish, sometimes nothing at all. But the river usually provided. Women spent hours grinding grain between heavy stones. The slow motion created fine flour. This flour became bread. a warm, comforting food shared by every family. Potters shaped wet clay on spinning wheels. Their hands moved with practiced skill. Soon, smooth jars and bowls appeared. These containers stored water, oil, and precious harvest supplies. Artists decorated pottery with simple designs, birds, boats, and scenes of everyday life. Even in these early times, creativity flourished. As communities became stronger, they also became more organized. Villages built protective walls from mud brick. Watchers stood guard during the night. Messengers traveled between settlements. Sometimes disagreements turned into conflict. Two groups might argue over farmland, or access to fishing waters, or control of trade routes along the Nile. These tensions led to the first small battles. Warriors carried wooden shields and stone weapons. They marched across dusty ground beneath the hot sun. But most conflicts were brief. Afterward, life returned to normal. The fields still needed tending. The animals still needed feeding. The river still flowed. During this time, people began to think more deeply about the mysteries of life. They noticed how the sun rose each morning and disappeared each night. They watched the moon change shape in the sky. They observed the steady return of the flood season. These patterns felt powerful, sacred. Slowly, early beliefs began to form. The river was seen as a living force, the sun as a source of life, the stars as guides in the darkness. When someone passed away, their body was placed gently into the warm desert sand. The dry heat preserved the remains naturally. Loved ones left small offerings nearby: food, tools, jewelry. They believed the spirit would continue its journey beyond this world, a peaceful journey, under the protection of unseen forces. These simple rituals would later grow into the complex religion of ancient Egypt. But for now, they remained humble and quiet. Year after year, the Nile continued its steady rhythm: flood, plant, harvest, rest, flood, plant, harvest, rest. This pattern shaped the lives of every person in the valley. It created stability, security, trust. And from that trust, something remarkable began to emerge: unity. Around 5,000 years ago, a powerful leader rose in the southern lands of Upper Egypt. His name was Narmer. He was strong, determined, and ambitious. Under his leadership, villages joined together. Armies grew larger. Authority became centralized. Narmer believed the two lands of Egypt should be united, not divided. He organized campaigns along the river. He formed alliances with neighboring regions. He demonstrated both strength and strategy. Gradually, resistance faded. The North and South came together under a single ruler. For the first time in history, the Nile Valley became one kingdom. This moment changed everything. To symbolize the union, Narmer wore a new crown, a combination of red and white. Two lands, one people, one king. This was the beginning of dynastic Egypt, the birth of the Pharaohs. From this foundation would rise great cities, magnificent temples, and towering pyramids that would stand for thousands of years. But tonight, we remain here, at the very beginning. The earliest chapter of a long and remarkable story. The river flows quietly beside you. The desert stretches peacefully into the distance. Stars shimmer softly in the night sky. Your breathing is slow. Your body is calm. And the first kings of Egypt are just beginning their journey. The Nile continues to move. Steady, gentle, endless. And the story carries you forward. After the two lands of Egypt became one, life along the Nile entered a new and steady age. This was a time of confidence, of organization, of quiet strength. Historians would later call it the Old Kingdom. But for the people living then, it was simply their world. A world shaped by the river, by the sun, and by the belief that order must always be maintained. Tonight, imagine yourself standing on the warm sand as the first light of morning spreads across the desert. The sky turns slowly from deep indigo to soft shades of gold and rose. In the distance, the Nile glimmers quietly. Palm trees sway in the gentle breeze. Birds glide low over the water, and rising from the desert floor, stone by stone, a new kind of structure begins to take shape: the pyramid. At first, tombs for kings were simple. Low, rectangular buildings made of mud brick. These were called mastabas. They protected the bodies of rulers and the treasures placed beside them. But as the kingdom grew stronger, the ambitions of its leaders grew as well. Pharaohs believed that they were chosen by the gods, guardians of balance, protectors of the land, and when they died, they expected their journey to continue into the next world, so their tombs became larger, more permanent, more magnificent. One ruler, long ago, decided to build something entirely new, a monument made not from mud brick, but from stone. His name was Djoser. Under his command, workers gathered near a place that would later be called Saqqara. There, architects and builders began an experiment. Instead of one flat tomb, they stacked smaller layers on top of each other, higher and higher and higher. The result was the first pyramid in history, the Step Pyramid. It rose above the desert like a staircase to the sky, a bold idea, a daring achievement, and a sign that Egypt had entered a new era. As generations passed, pyramids became smoother and more refined. Engineers studied angles and balance. Stone cutters shaped massive blocks with careful precision. Workers transported these stones across the desert using sledges and ropes. Teams moved together in rhythm, pulling, lifting, guiding each block into place. Contrary to many later myths, these builders were not slaves. They were skilled laborers, farmers during the flood season, when fields were covered by water, craftsmen during the dry months, neighbors helping neighbors. They lived in organized communities near construction sites. They ate bread and onions, drank beer made from grain, shared meals after long days of work. Doctors cared for injured workers. Priests offered blessings for safety, and overseers kept careful records of supplies and progress. Day by day, year by year, the pyramids grew. Eventually, one structure would become the most famous of all, the Great Pyramid, built for a pharaoh named Khufu. It stood taller than any building on Earth for thousands of years. Its sides were smooth and perfectly aligned. Its base covered more land than several city blocks. Its stones fit together with astonishing accuracy. Even today, people still wonder how such a massive project was completed. But for those who lived during the Old Kingdom, the pyramid was more than an engineering achievement. It was a symbol, a message written in stone. It declared the power of the pharaoh, the unity of the kingdom, and the belief that life continued beyond death. Religion played a central role in daily life. Priests served as caretakers of temples, guardians of sacred rituals, messengers between humans and the divine. They rose early each morning to prepare offerings for the gods: bread, fruit, flowers, incense. Inside the temple, they washed statues of the gods with clean water. They dressed them in fine linen. They whispered prayers in quiet voices. The temple was not a place for crowds. It was a sacred space filled with silence and reverence. Ordinary people rarely entered its inner chambers. Instead, they showed devotion in simple ways, leaving small gifts, speaking prayers at home, trusting the gods to protect their families. Among the many gods worshipped during this time, one stood above the rest, the sun god. Each morning, people watched as the sun rose from the eastern horizon. Its warm light spread across the land, bringing life to crops, animals, and people. They believed the sun traveled across the sky in a boat, sailing through the heavens during the day and through the underworld at night. This daily journey symbolized renewal, a reminder that darkness would always give way to light. Beyond the temples and pyramids, ordinary life continued with gentle rhythm. Farmers worked the fields along the Nile. They planted crops in neat rows, watered them using simple irrigation canals, protected them from birds and insects. Herdsmen guided cattle and goats across grassy patches near the river. Fishermen cast wide nets into calm water. Boat builders shaped wooden hulls along the shore. Merchants traveled between towns, carrying goods for trade: grain, oil, cloth, tools. Markets filled with conversation and laughter. Children played in dusty streets, chasing each other beneath the warm sun. Women baked bread in clay ovens, grinding grain into flour each morning. Men repaired tools, built houses, tended gardens. Life was not hurried. It followed the steady pace of the river. Education also became more important during the Old Kingdom. A small group of people learned to read and write. They were called scribes. Using reeds dipped in ink, they recorded important information on papyrus. Tax records, trade agreements, religious texts, royal commands. Scribes were respected members of society. Their knowledge allowed the kingdom to function smoothly. Without them, large projects like pyramid construction would have been impossible. As the years passed, Egypt grew prosperous. Food supplies were stable, trade expanded, cities became more organized. The kingdom seemed strong and unshakable, but even during times of success, life remained deeply connected to nature. The Nile still determined everything. If the flood was generous, harvests were plentiful. If the flood was weak, food became scarce. People watched the river closely, measured its height, recorded its patterns, prayed for its return, because they understood one simple truth: the river was life. As evening falls once more, the desert cools, the sky darkens into deep blue. Stars begin to appear one by one. Torches flicker along the riverbank. In the distance, the pyramids stand silent, massive, patient, enduring. Workers return to their homes. Priests finish their final prayers. Families gather for supper. The kingdom rests. And the Nile continues its quiet journey through the heart of Egypt. Your breathing slows. Your body relaxes. The world feels calm, steady, unchanging. And the story carries you forward.
Carpenters shape wood into furniture. Weavers create linen cloth from flax fibers. Metal workers hammer copper into tools and ornaments. Each craft requires patience, skill passed down through generations. Hands move slowly, confidently, with purpose. These objects are not rushed. They are made to last. Travel becomes more common during this time. Boats sail farther along the Nile. Explorers journey into unknown regions. They map river routes. They discover new resources. They build connections with distant communities. These journeys expand Egypt's knowledge. They strengthen its economy. And they bring a sense of quiet confidence. The kingdom feels secure, peaceful, prosperous. The Middle Kingdom becomes known as a time of balance. Not dramatic, not chaotic, but steady, like calm water on a windless day. People trust their leaders. They trust the river. They trust the future. This confidence allows society to grow stronger from within. As night falls across the Nile Valley, the world grows quiet once more. The marketplace empties. Boats tied gently to the shore. Families settle into their homes. The river continues its soft, endless movement. Crickets sing in the darkness. Palm trees sway in the evening breeze. Peace fills the land, and peace fills your body. Your breathing becomes slow, steady, comfortable, like the calm rhythm of the Nile, flowing through centuries, carrying life forward. And the story, gently, continues its journey. Farmers working in the fields, boats traveling along the Nile, families gathering for meals. These images feel personal, intimate, human. They show not only kings and gods, but ordinary people. This is a time when individuals matter more, when stories become more emotional, more thoughtful. Writers and poets also leave their mark. Scribes sit quietly in shaded rooms. Their reed pens glide across papyrus sheets. They write stories of adventure, of wisdom, of reflection. Some texts describe journeys along the Nile. Others offer advice about kindness, honesty, and patience. These writings help guide society. They teach values. They preserve knowledge. And they create a shared culture across the kingdom. The role of the pharaoh remains important, but leadership becomes more balanced. Officials help manage provinces. Governors oversee local communities. Administrators organize taxes and resources. This system keeps the kingdom stable. It prevents power from concentrating in one place. And it allows Egypt to function smoothly, like a well-tuned instrument. Temples continue to serve as spiritual centers. Priests perform rituals at sunrise and sunset. They light incense. They offer bread and beer to the gods. They chant quiet prayers. The scent of smoke drifts into the air. Soft footsteps echo along stone floors. Religion remains a comforting presence, a source of hope, a reminder of order. People believe the gods protect the land. They believe the Nile flows because divine forces guide it, and they trust that balance will continue. Life at home feels warm and familiar. Families gather inside cool, mud brick houses. Meals are simple but satisfying. Bread, vegetables, fruit, and sometimes fish or meat. After dinner, people relax together. Parents tell stories. Children listen with wide eyes. Neighbors share laughter under the evening sky. Oil lamps flicker gently. Their soft light fills the room with comfort. Outside, the desert air grows cooler. Stars begin to appear. Craftsmen work carefully in small workshops. The kingdom grows richer, not through conquest, but through cooperation. Cities expand along the riverbanks. Markets become lively centers of activity. Imagine walking slowly through one of these marketplaces. The air is warm and filled with sound. Vendors call out gently to passing customers. Children weave through narrow paths. Donkeys carry baskets of grain and vegetables. Colorful fabrics hang from wooden stalls. Clay jars line the ground in neat rows. Fresh fish glisten in the morning light. Yet even in the busy marketplace, the pace remains calm. There is no rush, only the steady rhythm of daily life. Farmers continue to rely on the Nile. The flood still arrives each year. Faithful and predictable, water spreads across the fields. Soil grows rich and dark. Crops flourish under the warm Egyptian sun. But now, people have learned new ways to manage water. Canals stretch across the land. Ditches guide the river into distant fields. Reservoirs store water for dry seasons. These improvements bring security. Harvests become more reliable. Food becomes more abundant. Families feel safe. And with safety comes creativity. Art begins to flourish in new and beautiful ways. Sculptors carve statues with greater detail. Faces appear more natural. Expressions become softer. Painters decorate tomb walls with scenes of daily life. Time moves gently forward, like the steady current of the Nile. The great pyramids of the Old Kingdom still stand in the distance, silent guardians of the past. But Egypt itself has changed. There was a time of difficulty, a time when strong central rule faded, and the land became divided. Local leaders competed for power. Resources grew scarce, and the perfect balance once held by the pharaohs began to weaken. Yet Egypt did not fall. Like the Nile after a dry season, it slowly renewed itself. A new chapter begins. The land is reunited under wise rulers. Order returns to the kingdom. Stability spreads across the river valley once more. This era will later be remembered as the Middle Kingdom. Not an age of towering pyramids, but an age of quiet strength. An age of rebuilding, of cooperation, of steady prosperity. Imagine yourself standing along the Nile at sunrise. Mist floats gently above the water. The sky glows with soft shades of gold and pale blue. Birds lift slowly into the morning air. Boats begin to move along the river. Long wooden vessels glide through the calm current. Their sails catch the light breeze. Their hulls carry goods from one town to another. Trade has become the lifeblood of Egypt. Merchants travel great distances along the Nile. They carry grain, linen, pottery, and tools. Some journeys stretch beyond Egypt's borders. To the south, traders venture into Nubia. They return with gold, ivory, and exotic animal skins. To the east, caravans cross desert paths. They bring copper, precious stones, and rare woods. These exchanges connect Egypt to the wider world. The kingdom grows richer, not through conquest, but through cooperation. Cities expand along the riverbanks. Markets become lively centers of activity. Imagine walking slowly through one of these marketplaces. The air is warm and filled with sound. Vendors call out gently to passing customers. Children weave through narrow paths. Donkeys carry baskets of grain and vegetables. Colorful fabrics hang from wooden stalls. Clay jars line the ground in neat rows. Fresh fish glisten in the morning light. Yet even in the busy marketplace, the pace remains calm. There is no rush, only the steady rhythm of daily life. Farmers continue to rely on the Nile. The flood still arrives each year. Faithful and predictable, water spreads across the fields. Soil grows rich and dark. Crops flourish under the warm Egyptian sun. But now, people have learned new ways to manage water. Canals stretch across the land. Ditches guide the river into distant fields. Reservoirs store water for dry seasons. These improvements bring security. Harvests become more reliable. Food becomes more abundant. Families feel safe. And with safety comes creativity. Art begins to flourish in new and beautiful ways. Sculptors carve statues with greater detail. Faces appear more natural. Expressions become softer. Painters decorate tomb walls with scenes of daily life. Carpenters shape wood into furniture. Weavers create linen cloth from flax fibers. Metalworkers hammer copper into tools and ornaments. Each craft requires patience. Skill passed down through generations. Hands move slowly, confidently, with purpose. These objects are not rushed. They are made to last. Travel becomes more common during this time. Boats sail farther along the Nile. Explorers journey into unknown regions. They map river routes. They discover new resources. They build connections with distant communities. These journeys expand Egypt's knowledge. They strengthen its economy. And they bring a sense of quiet confidence. The kingdom feels secure, peaceful, prosperous. The Middle Kingdom becomes known as a time of balance. Not dramatic, not chaotic, but steady, like calm water on a windless day. People trust their leaders. They trust the river. They trust the future. This confidence allows society to grow stronger from within. As night falls across the Nile Valley, the world grows quiet once more. The marketplace empties. Boats tied gently to the shore. Families settle into their homes. The river continues its soft, endless movement. Crickets sing in the darkness. Palm trees sway in the evening breeze. Peace fills the land, and peace fills your body. Your breathing becomes slow, steady, comfortable, like the calm rhythm of the Nile, flowing through centuries, carrying life forward. And the story, gently, continues its journey. The Nile flows quietly beneath the morning sun. Palm trees sway in the warm breeze. Villages awaken as farmers walk toward the fields. Egypt has survived centuries of change. Wars have come and gone. Dynasties have risen and fallen. But now, a new age begins. Historians would later call it the New Kingdom, a time when Egypt reached the height of its power and influence. Armies marched farther than ever before. Trade routes stretched across deserts and seas. Temples rose from the sand, like mountains of stone. And at the center of this golden age stood three unforgettable rulers: a conqueror, a queen, and a legend. Their names would echo through history for thousands of years. Thutmose, Hatshepsut, Ramses. Thutmose, the Conqueror. Long before he became pharaoh, Thutmose was a young prince, growing up along the banks of the Nile. From childhood, his life was filled with discipline. He learned to ride horses. He practiced archery. He studied military strategy. Egypt needed strong leaders, and Thutmose was determined to become one. When he finally took the throne, he inherited a kingdom that was stable, but surrounded by rivals. Beyond Egypt's borders, powerful kingdoms watched carefully. Some refused to pay tribute. Others prepared for rebellion. Thutmose made a bold decision. He would not wait for enemies to strike first. Instead, he would take the fight to them. One of his greatest campaigns led him to a fortified city called Megiddo. The journey was long and dangerous. His army marched across deserts, through narrow mountain passes, and into unfamiliar lands. When they arrived, a massive enemy force waited. Thousands of soldiers stood behind thick city walls. The battle began at sunrise. Chariots thundered across the battlefield. Dust filled the air. Arrows darkened the sky. For hours, the fighting continued, and in the end, Thutmose emerged victorious. It was one of the earliest battles ever recorded in detail, a moment that historians still study today. Victory after victory followed. Thutmose led campaigns into Syria, Canaan, Nubia. Each conquest expanded Egypt's borders. Each triumph brought new wealth. Gold flowed into the kingdom. Exotic goods filled the markets. Foreign leaders sent tribute to honor Egypt's power. Under Thutmose, Egypt transformed from a strong nation into a vast empire. Yet even the greatest conquerors cannot rule forever. And as the years passed, a new kind of leader began to rise. Hatshepsut, the queen who became pharaoh. Her name was Hatshepsut. She was born into royalty, surrounded by tradition and ceremony. But in ancient Egypt, women rarely ruled. The throne was meant for kings. When the previous ruler died, a young boy inherited the crown. He was too young to govern, so Hatshepsut stepped forward as regent, a temporary guardian of the kingdom. At first, her role seemed simple: protect the throne, guide the child, maintain stability. But over time, something remarkable happened. Her authority grew, her confidence strengthened, and eventually, she made a decision that would change history. She declared herself pharaoh. To secure her rule, Hatshepsut adopted the symbols of kingship. She wore the royal crown. She appeared in statues with the traditional beard of pharaohs. It was not an attempt to disguise herself. It was a declaration of power. She was not merely a queen. She was the ruler of Egypt. And once she took the throne, she led the kingdom in a new direction, a time of peace and prosperity. Unlike many rulers before her, Hatshepsut focused on stability rather than conquest. The army remained strong, but battles became rare. Instead, she invested in trade. Ships sailed across the Red Sea to distant lands. One famous expedition traveled to a mysterious place called Punt. The journey returned with treasures: gold, ivory, spices, rare trees, exotic animals. Trade strengthened the economy. Prosperity spread across Egypt. Markets grew busy. Cities expanded. Families lived in peace. With wealth flowing into the kingdom, Hatshepsut began an ambitious building project. Near the desert cliffs of Thebes, workers carved a magnificent temple into the stone. Terraces rose step by step toward the sky. Columns stood in perfect rows. Walls were covered in detailed carvings. Scenes of trade and exploration told the story of her achievements. Even today, the temple remains one of the most beautiful structures in ancient Egypt. It stands as proof that leadership can take many forms. Strength does not always come from war. Sometimes, it comes from vision. Ramses, the legend. Years passed. Generations changed. Egypt remained powerful, but a new ruler was about to leave. An unforgettable mark on history. His name was Ramses. From the beginning, his destiny seemed clear. He was trained to rule, prepared to command, raised to lead an empire. And when he became pharaoh, he embraced that role fully. Ramses believed that strength must be visible. He led military campaigns, against powerful enemies. One of his most famous battles took place near a city called Kadesh. Thousands of soldiers clashed. On an open plain, chariots charged forward. Warriors shouted commands. The ground trembled beneath the noise. The battle was fierce and difficult. Neither side achieved a decisive victory. But something extraordinary happened afterward. Instead of continuing the war, both sides agreed to peace. The agreement became one of the earliest known peace treaties in history, a document that still exists today. Ramses wanted his legacy to last forever, so he built monuments on a massive scale. Across Egypt, temples rose from the desert. Gigantic statues of the king stood guard at their entrances. One of his most famous creations was carved directly into the side of a mountain. Massive stone figures gazed out across the Nile, watching silently. As centuries passed, these monuments were not just decorations. They were messages, a declaration that Egypt was strong, powerful, enduring. Under the leadership of these three rulers, Egypt reached its greatest heights. Trade connected distant lands. Art flourished. Religion guided daily life. Farmers worked the fertile soil. Priests performed sacred rituals. Children played beside the river. For many people, life felt stable, peaceful, secure. This was the golden age of the New Kingdom, a time when Egypt stood at the center of the ancient world. The empire that once seemed unstoppable slowly begins to change. New challenges appear. New enemies rise. New eras approach. Yet the legacy of this age remains. Thutmose expanded the empire. Hatshepsut brought prosperity and peace. Ramses built monuments that still stand today. Together, they shaped one of the most remarkable chapters in human history. And even now, thousands of years later, their stories continue to echo across the sands of time, slowly, quietly, like the gentle flow of the Nile. But even the greatest civilizations cannot remain unchanged forever. Time continues to move, slowly, quietly. New challenges will appear in the years ahead. New leaders will rise, and new stories will unfold. For now, the New Kingdom rests in its moment of glory. The desert wind moves gently across the sand. The Nile flows steadily beneath the moonlight. Temple walls stand strong against the passing centuries. Your breathing remains slow, steady, peaceful, like the river that has carried Egypt through time. And the story continues to carry you forward. Time continues its quiet journey, as it always has, flowing like the Nile through the desert. The great age of empires slowly begins to fade. The powerful rulers of the New Kingdom are now memories. Their temples still standing, their statues watching silently over the land. Egypt remains beautiful. The river still floods each year. The sun still rises over golden sand. But beneath the surface, change has begun. Years pass, then generations. Leadership becomes less certain. Power shifts between rulers. Local governors grow stronger in their own regions. The kingdom that once felt unified begins to feel divided again. Cities continue to function. Markets remain open. Farmers still plant and harvest along the Nile. Life goes on, but the feeling of stability grows weaker, like a calm lake slowly touched by ripples. Far beyond Egypt's borders, new powers are rising. Great empires form in distant lands. Armies grow larger. Leaders seek new territories to control. Among these powers is a kingdom from the east, a vast and organized empire, the Persian Empire. Its rulers command enormous armies. Its roads stretch across mountains and deserts. Its influence spreads across the ancient world, and eventually, its attention turns toward Egypt. At first, the change is gradual. Foreign merchants appear more frequently in Egyptian cities. New languages are heard in the marketplaces. New customs quietly mix with old traditions. Caravans arrive carrying unfamiliar goods. Clothing styles begin to shift. Coins from distant lands pass from hand to hand. Egypt becomes part of a larger world, connected, but also vulnerable. Some Egyptian leaders attempt to restore strength. They rebuild temples. They repair canals. They organize defenses along the borders. But the challenges are many. Floods are sometimes unpredictable. Trade routes become difficult to protect. Political disagreements grow more frequent. The balance of the kingdom feels fragile. And then, one day, foreign soldiers appear on the horizon. Their armor shines in the sunlight. Their banners move slowly in the desert wind. They march in disciplined lines. Calm, confident, unhurried. These are the armies of Persia. The Persian king is powerful and determined. He seeks control of Egypt not out of anger, but out of strategy. Egypt holds fertile land, valuable resources, important trade routes. To rule Egypt is to strengthen an empire. And so the Persian forces move forward. Some battles take place along the Nile. The sound of shields and footsteps echoes across the sand. Dust rises into the air. But compared to earlier wars in history, the fighting is brief. Eventually, Egypt falls under Persian control. A new chapter begins. Under Persian rule, daily life continues. Farmers still tend their fields. Boats still travel along the river. Children still play beside their homes. The Nile does not change. The seasons do not change. The rhythm of life remains familiar, yet something feels different. Leadership now comes from distant lands. Orders arrive from foreign rulers. Taxes are collected for an empire far away. Egypt is no longer fully independent. Persian governors oversee the administration of the country. They maintain roads. They protect trade routes. They organize the collection of resources. Many of them respect Egyptian traditions. Temples remain open. Priests continue their rituals. Festivals are still celebrated. The gods are still honored. But the sense of national pride grows quieter, more distant. In the temples, priests light incense as they have for centuries. Soft smoke rises toward the ceiling. Chants echo gently through stone halls. They pray for stability, for protection, for the return of balance. The ancient idea of harmony, ma'at, still guides their thoughts. They believe that order will one day be restored. Artists continue their work during this time. They carve statues from stone. They paint scenes on tomb walls. They craft jewelry from gold and silver. But the style begins to change slightly. Foreign influences appear in clothing, in hairstyles, in decorative patterns. Egyptian culture slowly blends with ideas from other lands. Not suddenly, but gradually, like colors mixing in soft light. Trade remains active. Ships travel along the Nile and across nearby seas. Merchants exchange grain, linen, and papyrus. In return, Egypt receives spices, metals, and rare materials. Markets stay lively. Voices rise and fall in friendly conversation. Coins clink softly. Baskets fill with goods. Even under foreign rule, life continues to move forward. Some Egyptians dream of independence. They remember the glory of earlier times, the strength of the pharaohs, the unity of the kingdom, the pride of a self-governed land. From time to time, small revolts occur. Local leaders attempt to reclaim control. Armies gather in quiet resistance. But the Persian Empire remains strong. Its reach is wide. Its resources are vast. And so Egypt remains part of this larger empire. Years pass quietly. Children grow into adults. Families build new homes. Farmers harvest countless seasons of crops. The pyramids still stand. The temples still rise above the riverbanks. The statues of ancient kings remain unchanged. Silent witnesses to history. Watching, waiting. Gradually, the world beyond Egypt continues to shift. New cultures emerge. New leaders rise. New ideas spread across continents. The story of Egypt is not ending. It is simply changing direction, preparing for another transformation. One day, from the distant lands of the north, a young conqueror will begin his journey. His arrival will reshape the future of Egypt. He will bring new language, new customs, and new rulers. But that moment has not yet come. For now, Egypt rests in a time of quiet endurance, a time of patience, a time of waiting. The desert wind moves softly across the sand. Palm trees sway gently along the riverbank. The Nile continues its steady flow beneath the night sky. Your breathing is slow. Your body is calm. The land of Egypt remains peaceful in the darkness. And the story continues to drift forward, like water along the Nile. Time continues its endless journey, flowing forward like the Nile beneath the stars. Egypt has endured centuries of change. Foreign rulers have come and gone. Empires have risen and faded. Yet the land remains. The river still nourishes the fields. The temples still stand along the desert edge. The pyramids still watch over the horizon. But now, a new chapter begins. From the north, across mountains and seas, a young leader approaches Egypt. His name is Alexander. He is bold, curious, and determined to build a vast empire. When he arrives, the people of Egypt welcome him. They are tired of foreign rule that feels distant and unfamiliar. Alexander respects their traditions. He honors their gods. He listens to their priests. And in return, Egypt accepts him as a new ruler. Alexander travels along the Mediterranean coast. There, beside the sea, he chooses a special place. A place where desert meets water, where ships can sail easily between lands, where cultures can gather and exchange ideas. Here, he orders the construction of a new city, Alexandria. The city grows quickly. Wide streets stretch across the landscape. Stone buildings rise toward the sky. Markets fill with merchants from distant lands. Greek, Egyptian, Persian, and many others. Voices blend together in a gentle hum of activity. Alexandria becomes a center of learning. Scholars gather in great halls. They study mathematics, astronomy, medicine, and philosophy. Scrolls are carefully stored in vast libraries. Knowledge flows through the city like the Nile itself. After Alexander's death, his empire is divided among trusted generals. One of them takes control of Egypt. His name is Ptolemy. He establishes a new royal family, the Ptolemaic dynasty. Though these rulers come from Greek origins, they adopt many Egyptian traditions. They dress as pharaohs. They honor Egyptian gods. They maintain temples along the Nile. The old and the new begin to blend. Greek language mixes with Egyptian culture. New ideas merge with ancient customs. Egypt becomes a place of connection between worlds. The city of Alexandria continues to shine. Ships fill the harbor. Tall masts rise above the water. Sails flutter gently in the sea breeze. Dock workers unload crates of grain, wine, spices, and papyrus. Nearby stands one of the most famous structures in the ancient world, a towering lighthouse. Its flame burns brightly at night, guiding sailors safely toward shore. A symbol of safety, direction, and welcome. Life across Egypt remains steady. Farmers continue their work along the Nile. They plant crops in the rich soil left behind by the flood. They harvest grain beneath the warm sun. They rest during the cool evening hours. Children play beside the riverbank. Fishermen mend their nets. Families gather for meals. The rhythm of daily life remains familiar. Even as rulers change, the land continues its quiet routine. Temples remain places of devotion. Priests perform rituals with careful attention. They light incense. They chant sacred words. They offer food to the gods. Stone walls glow softly in torchlight. The scent of smoke drifts into the night air. Faith remains strong. Hope remains steady. Generations pass. Kings and queens rule from palaces along the Nile. The Ptolemaic dynasty grows larger. But over time, internal struggles begin to appear. Family members compete for power. Political tensions grow. The once stable kingdom begins to feel uncertain. And beyond Egypt's borders, a new force rises. Rome. Rome grows stronger with each passing year. Its armies expand across continents. Its influence spreads across seas. Roman leaders watch Egypt carefully. They know the land is valuable. Its grain feeds distant populations. Its ports connect important trade routes. Egypt becomes a prize worth protecting or controlling. And then, a remarkable figure enters the story. A woman remembered across centuries. Her name is Cleopatra. Cleopatra is intelligent, confident, and deeply aware of her responsibilities. She studies languages. She learns about politics. She understands diplomacy. Unlike many rulers before her, she speaks directly with her people. She listens carefully. She observes the changing world around her. When Cleopatra becomes queen, Egypt faces difficult challenges: internal conflict, economic pressure, growing Roman influence. Yet she remains calm, focused, determined to protect her kingdom. Cleopatra forms alliances with powerful Roman leaders. She meets Julius Caesar, Their partnership brings temporary stability. Trade improves. Security strengthens. The kingdom regains confidence. Later, she works with another Roman leader, Mark Antony. Together, they attempt to preserve Egypt's independence. But the political situation grows more complicated. Rome continues to expand. Power struggles intensify. The balance becomes fragile. Despite these challenges, Cleopatra continues to govern wisely. She supports trade. She maintains temples. She ensures food supplies remain steady. She presents herself as both queen and protector of tradition, a symbol of continuity, a guardian of Egypt's long history. But eventually, events move beyond her control. A final conflict approaches. The Roman leader Octavian prepares for battle. Armies gather. Ships move across the sea. The future of Egypt hangs in quiet uncertainty. After a decisive confrontation, Rome emerges victorious. Egypt becomes part of the Roman world. Its independence comes to an end. Cleopatra's reign concludes. And with her passing, the age of ancient pharaohs finally fades into history. Yet the story of Egypt does not disappear. The Nile still flows. The pyramids still stand. The temples still rise from the desert. The stars still shine above the ancient land. For thousands of years, civilizations have come and gone. But Egypt remains, timeless, enduring, quietly watching the passage of time. Now the night grows deeper. The river moves slowly in the darkness. A soft breeze drifts across the sand. Your breathing is calm, steady, peaceful. The long story of ancient Egypt has reached its gentle conclusion. And like the Nile beneath the moonlight, history continues to flow, softly, endlessly. And now, the story grows quiet. The long journey through ancient Egypt, through thousands of years of life, has gently come to rest. From the first small villages beside the Nile, to the rise of mighty kings, to the building of pyramids that touched the sky, to the final days of Cleopatra, time has carried us across centuries, as calmly as water moving through the desert. The river still flows. It has always flowed, long before the first farmers planted seeds in dark soil, long before the first crown was placed upon a king's head, long before the first stone was lifted toward the heavens. The Nile was already here, quiet, patient, endless, and tonight, it continues its gentle journey beneath the stars. The pyramids remain, silent in the desert night, their stone faces warmed by sunlight during the day, and cooled by soft winds after sunset. They do not speak, they do not move, yet they remember everything. They remember the workers who carried heavy blocks across the sand, the priests who whispered prayers inside shadowed temples, the children who laughed beside the riverbank, the rulers who dreamed of eternity. All of it, held quietly in the stillness of stone. The temples remain, columns rising into the dark sky, walls covered with ancient carvings, stories written in symbols older than memory. Even now, in the quiet of the night, those temples seem to breathe, holding the echoes of footsteps, the scent of incense, the sound of distant chanting. But the voices have faded, and the world has grown still. The desert stretches outward in every direction. Soft sand shaped by gentle wind, cool air drifting across the land. Above it all, the stars shine with steady light. The very same stars that guided sailors along the Nile, that watched over farmers in the fields, that illuminated the paths of kings and queens. They are unchanged, calm, enduring, eternal. Civilizations rise, civilizations fall, empires grow strong, then slowly fade into history. But the earth remains. The sky remains, the river remains, and somewhere, deep within the quiet of the night, the memory of ancient Egypt still lives. Not in noise, not in movement, but in stillness. Feel your body resting gently, supported by the bed beneath you, your muscles soft, your breathing slow, your mind calm. There is nothing left to follow, nothing left to remember, nothing left to do. The story has reached its peaceful end. The wind moves softly across the desert. A slow, steady breath, in and out, in and out, like the rhythm of the Nile, like the rhythm of sleep. Now the pyramids fade into shadow. The temples grow quiet. The river becomes a soft whisper in the distance. The stars dim gently behind drifting clouds. And the ancient world, so full of life and history, slowly disappears into the calm darkness of night. Rest now. Let your thoughts grow lighter. Let your breathing grow deeper. Let the silence carry you gently into sleep. The Nile continues to flow, softly, endlessly, through time, through memory, through dreams. And as the wind drifts across the desert, and the night grows still, the story of ancient Egypt fades, slowly, peacefully, into silence. If you drifted off before the pyramids, that is a quiet success. Subscribe so the next calm history story finds you this Sunday.